Good morning, everybody. My name is Justin. I'm your CEO at MetroTex. I know some of you, but not all of you. So thank you for taking some time today to be with us to learn more about what's going on with our new association management system, Tangilla, and how we can better support you as our brokers and managers. As we enter this new era of MetroTex, our goal is to deliver a greater level of service than you've experienced before, and the level of service that you deserve of an organization of our size and our caliber. Today, we want to give you all some insight into how to best use our new association management system to benefit your agents and your business. We're joined by Jeff Turner. Jeff is co-founder of Tangilla, which is our new AMS system. He's also got a long history in the industry. He was a co-founder of Real Satisfied, which some of you may be familiar with as an agent rating tool that MetroTex makes available to our members. So Jeff's got a long history. He's also going to be speaking at our Forecast event tomorrow. So if you're coming out to Forecast, you'll get a chance to hear from Jeff on kind of where we're headed as an industry technology-wise. But please give your attention to Jeff. Jeff, I'm going to turn it over to you. Thanks for taking the time, and let's teach all these brokers and managers how to best use the system.
You are looking at the landing page of a broker portal. I want to thank Brenda Cole for the ability to look through her account. One of the things that I'm not going to do today is to illustrate one of the billing sections because she has already saved her credit card. And while it does not expose all of her information, I don't feel comfortable showing that. So I won't show that, but I'll walk you through it. I'm going to walk you through first what's common between you and your agents. And then we're going to walk through the brokerage tab and the reports tab, which is unique to the brokers on the platform and anyone who you've given broker access to the platform. And I'll show you how to do that as well. Okay. So on the front page, what you're seeing here on the left-hand side is the menu. This allows you to click through and see all of the different areas that are available to you, and we're going to walk through each one of those. The home page is broken down into a number of different sections. Up at the top, this is controlled by the MetroTex staff. They have 100% control over the timing and display of these portal tiles. Each one of these take you to a different place of interest. If you click on View More, if there were secondary tiles for you to see, I don't believe there are. There are just 6 primary tiles, and I want to congratulate the MetroTex team. This is incredibly well styled. I've seen some really ugly dashboards. Trust me, it's all over the place. So this looks really, really good. But it also exposes some other resources and services that are available to everyone. And in context, some of these things appear based upon someone's role with the association and or the MLS. So if I am not a broker, if I'm not the designated realtor over top of a corporate structure, I will not see the add branch form. That only appears because Brenda is sitting on top of her corporate structure. There's also the transition election form. I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail around this, but this is the form that you would use to make the decision to move one direction or other relative to your realtor membership. And then, of course, the letter of good standing. I say, of course, as if this is common. I believe we're the only people that provide an on-demand letter of good standing for people. And one of the great things about working with an organization like MetroTex is that the experience level of the staff here is tremendous. They've made some suggestions on how to improve this letter of good standing based upon what they've experienced in the past, and we're looking at making some changes to that letter of good standing to make it even better than it is today. But this letter of good standing, so that you understand how this works for both you and your salespeople, your realtors, is produced in real time. It's not sitting as a static PDF. So when I click on a letter of good standing, in the time, and literally it happens that quickly, in the time that it takes for this to load, we've made an API call. Now, depending on how M1's performing and other issues on the third parties that we call to, it may take slightly longer, but this produces in the moment that you click on that form. So this is the status based upon the moment that we click on this form. And this can be used to go and use with other associations as you see fit. Okay, so that's the letter of good standing. I'll illustrate how these forms work as well. If she wants to add a branch, right? we can click on this, hit add a branch to this corporate structure, and it will initiate that automatically. It will handle any charges, if there are charges associated with this, and automatically provision that branch in the system. It does not require staff involvement to do that. One of the nice things about forms inside of Tangilla is that it does allow staff, and we're going to look at that in a couple of seconds, to integrate with Tangilla data so that you don't have to fill out information that we already know about you, okay? Up in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see alerts. The alerts that will appear here are alerts like you've got an unpaid invoice, you've got an incident associated with your account. Perhaps your account was suspended because your license went inactive. Same thing will be true for the agents on the platform. If you've got a new member who's joined, their new member orientation message will sit up here in this upper right-hand corner until they complete new member orientation to alert them to the fact that they need to complete that. And by the way, if anyone's watching the chat and questions are being asked, please feel free to interrupt me and I'll answer any question as we're going along. Down the right-hand side, these are the next 3 events that are coming up at MetroTex. This is done just purely in order of the time that they appear. I've not refreshed this since we started, so I don't know whether these will fall off. You can see that Brenda has signed up for this training that we're sitting on right now, and any events that you've signed up for will appear here. One of the nice things about Tangilla is that, again, we're trying to give you the ability to do things that in the past you might have had to pick up the phone and call someone to take care of. So in this case, if she wanted to cancel her booking for this event, she could do that here. If this was a new member orientation for some new associate who's joined your firm, they could book into a different version of a class, all without having to pick up the phone to call the association staff members to do that, okay? So you can take action on this. If you're within the refund window, it will automatically refund if it's a paid event, and if not, it will just simply cancel it and take care of that and update in real time. Everything that you're seeing here on Tangilla is updated in real time. And what I mean by that is if staff make a change to a class, the moment they hit save on the back end, it is instantly updated in what's seen here. All of the notifications that you see here are handled by MetroTex staff as well. The only ones that are appearing currently, and probably will be this way for a little while until we get totally through this transition, are the videos for your members to understand how to utilize this portal, how to make payments, how to add their credit card, how to make contributions, how to register for a class. When I click on this, it takes me into this notifications section of the dashboard. We're going to go through each one of these as well this morning. But when I click on this one's going to take me into this notifications section where I can then see all of the member portal videos that we've made available to you. So as you can see here, they're pretty comprehensive. These don't get viewed very often. And I say that really almost kind of proudly. I think most people find navigating through the member portal pretty intuitive and they figure it out on their own, but there are some people who have challenges, and so the videos are there for them, right? So the homepage, again, just a quick review. Up at the top, resources and services. When I click on view more, it allows me to see any secondary tiles that might be available. Not sure why that's taking so long to load. Any alerts associated with your account will be up in the upper right-hand corner. What's coming up next? Notifications that are posted by MetroTex staff, and any of your own upcoming events will appear here. Okay, that's the homepage. Underneath My MetroTex, you've got the profile. You have the ability to make changes to your profile. I want you to pay particular attention to this message up here at the top. Because someone can have multiple MLS accounts, and because some people use different information, emails, phone numbers on their association membership and what appears publicly in the MLS, when you make a change to your profile, it does not automatically update your MLS profile. If you're trying to update information in the MLS, I'm going to want you to not make the changes here in the profile. That will update your association information and update your general profile here, but to update any of your subscription information, MLS, Supra, whatever, those need to be done on each individual subscription. Some of you who are brokers might have multiple MLS subscriptions where you have multiple different information that gets posted there. And so that's why it's done that way. A lot of people miss this little note up here, so I want to highlight that for you. Okay, click on Edit Profile. That allows you to go in and edit automatically. The moment you save it, it's instantly updated. Okay. Notifications. One of the things that MetroTech staff might be doing over the course of the next upcoming year is categorizing these notifications. They can segment these notifications so that notifications only appear to certain roles or certain types of people. So you may see new categories that appear up here at the top. If you click on any of those categories, it will limit your view of the notification to just the notifications in that category. Courses and events, this is exactly what you think it is. Again, this gets updated in real time. Any changes made by staff inside of the Tangela app will appear here in courses and events. And this entire portal was built mobile first. So the look and feel of this changes based upon whether I'm looking at it on my mobile phone or whether I'm looking at it on my desktop. And that allows you to one-click pay for things if you have saved a credit card inside of your billing section. We do not store, as I mentioned this, any credit card information inside of Tangela. We utilize the resources of the Realtor e-commerce network, which is the payment platform that we integrate with. And we use encrypted information to pull that data when necessary. So you can know that we are completely PCI compliant in that regard. When I want to book into any class, I can click on a class. It pops out this side menu and allows me to book that class and to cancel that class or to move into a different version of that class if I wish. So totally user-friendly on that front. Any of the on-demand courses that are available from MetroTech are also available here in the same space. Anything that you've booked into is available here under My Bookings. And if you've completed a course that has a CE certificate, that will appear here, and the certificate will be available for download right here from the portal. Okay? Committees. I don't believe Brenda is currently serving on any committees, but if she were, all of the committees that she appeared on would appear here. Any of the upcoming meetings would appear here, and any past meetings would appear here, in addition to the ability to view any notes, an agenda that might have been added to that meeting, or any of the minutes associated with that meeting. Any of your certifications will appear here. And here is where you go to manage your email subscriptions. Again, all of this is available to both you and the realtors in each of your offices. Every time that the MetroTech communications staff sends out an email from the Tangela platform, they place it into what we call an email channel. You can unsubscribe from an individual channel without having to unsubscribe from all channels. Okay? And then any applications and forms that are available for you to fill out here from the portal are here inside of applications and forms. There may be forms that appear here to you as a broker that will not appear to realtors. The LIFRO certification form will not appear to individual realtors. It will only appear if you have the ability to fill out the LIFRO certification form. Now, I'm going to click on this form just so that you can see how the data integration works inside of Tangela. So when I click on this form, we're loading the form, but we're also pulling in data that we know to be true about you so that you don't have to understand that. We have a direct integration with TREC so that we can validate these licenses and make that work in real time as well. So the goal here is to make this as simple as possible for you to fill out forms and to take actions as necessary inside of the platform. Again, all of this is controlled by the MetroTech staff. So I'm gonna stop before I get into billing. Brian.
Yeah, Jeff. So if a broker has designated a manager and they go into the portal, are they going to be seeing everything that you're showing us currently?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm going to walk through that in a second when we look at the roster inside of the broker area of this platform.
Gotcha.
All right, if there's no questions on that, this is pretty straightforward. So you need to make changes to your profile here. Any notifications from the MetroTech staff will show up here and also show up on the main page of the homepage if they say it for it to do so. Any committees are here, any courses and events that are available to you, any certifications, managing your email subscriptions, and any applications and forms that are available for you to fill out can be found here as well. Underneath billing, and this is where I'm going to be very careful for a second. And again, thank you, Brenda, for letting me use your account. Any invoices, and these are your invoices. These are not your staff invoices. Those we're going to look at underneath brokerage in a second. These are your personal invoices that are unpaid. You can look at only unpaid, or you can look at the ones that you've already paid, but it defaults to unpaid invoices are located here. You'll also notice up here in the upper right-hand corner a transaction history. Because we've imported data from two separate financial systems, the last 2 years of your transaction history is merged into a downloadable form, so you have access to that transaction history here. Any payments that you've made, receipts, if you will, appear under My Payments. I can click here to download the PDF of this payment so that I have a receipt that I can use for tax purposes if that's how you work. Okay, now payment settings. I'm not going to click on this because we do show a little visual of the credit card that Brenda has added. But once you've added a credit card to your billing payments, you then can activate autopay. Autopay is then selectable on any of the bill runs that are produced from MetroTech. If you want to turn on autopay just for the association dues, you can do that. If you want to turn on autopay just for MLS, you can do that. But if you'd like to turn on autopay for all of the services, you can do that as well. That is all handled here inside of payment settings. I invite you all to go and give that a shot. If anyone on the MetroTech staff can point me to someone's account that I can show who does not have a credit card already saved, I'm happy to walk through that. But this is really straightforward, really easy to follow. And the Activate Autopay only shows up after you've added a credit card to your account. Once again, we do not store credit card information inside of Tangilla. All right, pre-pack. This is a feature that's only available because we also manage the Texas Association of Realtors at the state level. We built this TreePack screen specifically for Texas Realtors. It monitors real-time TreePack activity. It also includes any data that's been uploaded by Texas Realtors from M1 or from other associations. So it doesn't just include the information from MetroTech. It includes anything that's available from Texas Realtors. Last night, we switched over to the 2026 TreePack year. So you'll see that now we're sitting at 0. It's October 1st. It's the first day of the TreePack year. You can look at your past history by going to recent activity and history here. You can make a pledge. Again, any of your agents can do this as well, or you can make an investment right here from the platform. Subscriptions. This is where you and your agents will manage their subscriptions. If a new member joins and they simply join with an association membership and they want to add MLS after joining, they would click on subscription actions and simply add a new subscription. Now, in this case, I don't really have any subscriptions I want to add, so I'm not going to illustrate that. But this is where it happens. Okay. Any question on subscriptions? This is the place where I often get a lot of questions. Justin?
Yeah, Jeff, will you just make a note that if they click through details on the Netris MLS, that's where they could modify their email address?
Yep, this is exactly where you would go. So thank you for pointing that out, Justin. I would have forgotten that. On the front page, when you edit your profile, it's only updating the association subscription. So if you want to update the information on the MLS, you just need to click here on this little edit button right there. And that will allow you to go in and edit the information associated with your MLS subscription. Each MLS subscription you might have as a broker, if you are a broker over multiple corporations and you have an MLS subscription for each one so that agents in those offices can also have MLS, you would update each one of those individually. Okay? Going to cancel out of that so we don't change any of Brenda's information. Search. Search works the same for you as it does for your agents. If I want to go in and find an affiliate, I always use Pillar to Post because I was an advisor to them for a while on technology, and it's the only home inspection company I know, so that's the only one I know how to use. This gives you information. This should work like any other search function that you've ever seen. Of course, you could go in and use advanced search if you wish, but for the most part, I think you'll be able to get what you need just by clicking on the search. Okay, let's spend some time looking at things that are unique to someone who is a broker or to someone who's been given broker delegation by you. Okay, so lots of people have rosters. We have what I like to call an intelligent roster. So I'm going to click into this United Real Estate DFW, this one right here. You'll notice that some people, you see the tags here that show where they sit relative to MLS access. It doesn't appear, and this is a lot of people in this office, so I'm just going to keep scrolling for a bit just so that I can see. It doesn't appear that anyone in this office has been given a MLS override by the broker, by Brenda on the MLS, or broker delegation for this office specifically. Brenda may have given broker delegation, group broker delegation access to someone on a different office. Every office is managed separately here. So all of the offices that fall underneath Brenda are listed here. And then, Brian, specific to your question, if I want to give someone the ability to see all of the things that I can see and do all of the things that I can do as a broker, I can delegate that by clicking here on Manage Delegation. Manage Delegation gives someone the right to act on your behalf here in the MetroTex member portal. So when I click on Manage Delegation, it pops up my options. I want to give someone just delegation for the office that they're in, or give them delegation for all the offices in this group that Brenda Cole is named as the designated realtor for. There may be offices where you've got somebody who's sitting over the main office, and then you've got a broker who has 3 branches, and that's a different broker than the broker that's sitting over the main office. If I'm the broker in one of those 3 branches and I say, give someone this broker access, what I'm giving them is access over the 3 offices that I have access to, not over the group. I can't give someone access that I don't have myself. Hopefully that makes sense. And if I want someone to have the exact same access that I have over the entire group, I can give delegation to all of the offices in that group. If I were to give this access to Monica Anderson right now, the next time she logged into the MetroTex portal, she would see the broker options and she would have the ability to go through and make the same kinds of decisions on behalf of Brenda. It's a very powerful thing to give somebody, by the way. You can take it away just as easily. So if I can give someone access, I can take it away instantly. I do not need to pick up the phone and call MetroTex staff. This happens instantly. And literally, if Monica were to log in 5 minutes after me having given her access, she would have access. This does not depend on queues inside of the system. Same thing is true for MLS access. Now, MLS access might take a few minutes depending on where the queues are in provisioning and what's happening on the Netris side of the equation. But if I want to give Monica the ability to have full Office access, this is what is called an MLS user class override. If I click on Office and hit save, the next time Monica logs into the MLS, she would have Office access. And if I wanted her to have the same access that I have in the MLS, I click on Group Access, hit save, and the next time that she logs into the MLS, she has that group access. In the same light, if Monica's done something dastardly, and I no longer want the risk of having her in my office, I can take immediate action by clicking on this terminate button. And what this does, I'm not going to click it even though I know I've got one more screen to click through. I'm superstitious that way. When I click on terminate, it allows me to instantly disable access. It suspends the association subscription and or the MLS and the lockbox and any other services that are dependent on those instantly. It does not terminate your relationship at Trek, but it does mitigate any liability that you might have by allowing you to take action instantly. So this terminate button creates what we call a broker termination incident inside of the association management platform, and it instantly emails Monica to say that you have terminated your relationship with her. That then allows you to go and terminate your relationship at Trek, and then she would be free to join another brokerage if she so chose. All right, any questions on that? Because this is a pretty powerful feature. Brian?
Jeff, so seeing as Brenda has several offices, and I don't know if you said anything about it, but is there a specific way to give managers to just specific offices instead of like the whole roster of?
That is exactly the way it is. So if I go back to this one where there's only two people, you'll notice that Jeff has office delegation. The office delegation is relative to the office that I'm sitting in. So when I click on this and look at his managed delegation, you'll see that she's given him delegation for the office that this person's in.
But let's say if there is a manager for more than just that specific office, maybe they're a manager of 3 offices out of 15. Are you able to give individual, is the broker able to specify what offices they are managers of out of that 15?
If the person is in each of the offices, they would need to go to the one office they want to give them access to, or the 3 out of the 15 offices that they want to give them access to, and take the office delegation on each of the office they want to get them action to. If, in the example I gave earlier, I've got 15 offices, but I have one broker who's over 3 of those branches, I can go into one of those branches and give the broker delegation, and then that person would only see those same 3 branches for the broker of that office. Okay? I would ask the broker over those 3 offices to go do that because it's easier to do if you're that broker. Okay? Does that answer the question?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. If anyone's confused by my responses, just let me know. I'm happy to go over it again. Again, this is a pretty powerful feature, and we built it this way, and I think the goal here was, in the past, you might have had to pick up the phone and call someone, but no one was going to say, no, we're not going to do that for you. They would just do it because you're the broker, and that's what you do. You have the ability to do this. So rather than having to pick up the phone, we built the features to allow you to do it on your own. Okay, so that's the goal. You're going on vacation, you want someone new to have access, you can go in and let them have access. And when you get back from vacation, you didn't like the way they did it, you can take it away. If you like the way they did it, maybe leave it in that and take some pressure off of you. Okay. All right. Any unpaid invoices? I can see any unpaid invoice for any of the people sitting in any of my offices. I can take a look at those invoices. I can pay those invoices if I'm feeling magnanimous that day. Maybe I'm just feeling really, really generous. I can click and pay all of these invoices if I choose. All right. The goal here is to make it easy for you to see which of your agents have not yet paid an invoice. We're at the beginning of a bill run, I think. Is that right, Kathy? Yeah, we're at the beginning of a bill run, so I'm not surprised that there are this many people with unpaid invoices. Blair.
Yes, sir. What's the cutoff now? What are the rules for cutoff if they're not paying? It used to be that they lost all their services, et cetera, and you would then bring down the whole office. Is it now individualized?
I can answer that, Jeff, if that's all right.
Yeah,
probably better.
I'd rather you answer it rather than me answer operational questions.
Yeah, thanks for that question, Blair. If an agent does not pay their MLS bill, that agent will be immediately at 12:01 a.m. on that due date, or the morning after that due date, they will be suspended from service. That agent will be able to then reactivate that service by logging into the portal and paying within the next 30 days while they're suspended. Once they're terminated after 30 days of non-payment, 30 days past non-payment, they would then be reapplying more or less through the application to reprovision service, and they'd be assessed whatever late fees are attached to that. The question that you're really driving at, which is what happens to the office if that agent continues to not pay? And that's where there is a change in the posture at MetroTex. Our goal is to say that we are not going to penalize an entire company because one person didn't pay their bill. Our attitude is if somebody wants MLS services, they'll pay for it. If they don't want MLS services, they won't pay for it. The days of making it, where people were sharing logins and all that kind of stuff is really, it's just really hard to do that now with all the identity protection that we have through our dashboards and single sign-ons and that kind of thing. So yeah, to answer the question, if one person doesn't pay their MLS bill or 5 people don't pay their MLS bill, we're not going to turn off the office for that, for MLS and key services. However, if somebody does not pay their dues, that will jeopardize the entire office because ultimately the broker is responsible for those dues. And Texas Realtors is looking for that money, whether we pay or don't pay, if that makes sense. So when it comes time to dues billing, we're going to want that same chase to make sure that all your agents are good. But on MLS fees, you won't experience that moving forward. Does that answer the question?
Yes, thank you. Appreciate it.
And Blair, I'll say that the last action relative to association dues is not automated inside of the system. There are humans that sit in the loop of that one for very, very good reasons. There are instances and times when someone who is suspended on the association side then turns into what is ultimately an unreported licensee. You will be able to have the ability to take care of that inside of the portal, in addition to you saying, well, if they didn't pay their association dues, I'm just going to terminate my relationship with them at TREC. And that removes them from the unreported licensees and doesn't put you in jeopardy as an office. So there's lots of ways to take care of that, Justin.
Yeah, I will note, I did just get a clarification from Jenny on our team to remind me that if the broker does not pay their MLS bill, we will turn off the entire office. So,
and that does happen automatically. And part of the reason that happens automatically, so there are certain kinds of, we call them suspension incidents that have a grace period. So for example, if you, as the broker, your license shows up as inactive at TREC, we will put a broker incident on your account. And again, that will appear in the upper right-hand corner of the homepage that says that your license has expired. You'll send you an email that says you've got X number of days, and I believe it's set to 3 days here at MetroTex. It's configurable, Justin, so if you want that to be longer or shorter, we can certainly do that. That you've got 3 days to take care of that with TREC, or the incident will become active, and that will also suspend all of the accounts for the agents in the office. So there are certain dependent services that are conditioned upon you having an active real estate license. And I think everybody's aware of that. So the goal of the system is for things where you get lots of notifications, around an invoice. You're going to get one 14 days prior to due date, 7 days prior to due date, 3 days prior to due date, the day before on. you've got plenty of notification. So when that incident applies, it happens automatically. On the suspension date, we simply suspend. For things where you don't get ample notifications, we apply a grace period to allow you to take care of that with the third party or the institution or whatever's causing that particular incident to be placed on your account. Okay? So unpaid invoices are viewable here. This is really more for you to have a way to see. Again, Blair, good question. If I'm sitting here in this office and I've got two people who haven't paid their invoice yet, in this case, those are both people in this office, but if one of them doesn't pay the invoice, the whole office doesn't get shut off. All right. You can manage your office profile here. Again,
Hey, Jeff, there was a question in the chat about being able to sort those columns. Can you just point out how to sort those by alphabetical?
Sure. So anywhere you see a little arrow right here, you can see the date. I don't believe we have a sort here. We do have I'll jump to reports just so you can see that. We're going to be adding more and more brokerage reports. We have had a request for a report that shows office invoice and payments inside of reports. And I'll just do this now just so we can see it. For any of these offices, I can go, you can export our reports in two ways. One, to screen, and second, to CSV. I'm going to suggest you always choose screen, and here's why. When I run a report to screen, anywhere you see one of these little icons here, it allows you to sort. So I can go through here and I can sort. I can sort by license type. I can sort by license expiration date, right? And if I download the CSV based upon any sort criteria, so if I go up here and I say, I only want to see salesperson license types, when I download the CSV, it's downloading just this view into CSV. So if I want to share that with a third party. In addition, I can download this report as a self-contained piece of HTML. And if I share that in an email with anyone, they don't need to be logged into the system to interact with the report in the same way that you're interacting with it. Okay. We will be adding more reports to the brokerage reports, but that's the one that's available now. Justin, I hope that answered the question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Office profile. Again, each office profile is managed independently. If I'm a broker with a lot of offices, I can manage each of those offices' profiles independently here. So I simply go to each office profile. If I need to change information relative to that, I simply click on the edit profile, and it allows me to make the changes that I need to make. Okay. Unreported licensees. One of the things that's unique to how we manage things is because we're looking at Trek data every single day. When we look at that Trek data file, the high value data set that we get from Trek every day, and by the way, not sure how everybody feels about Trek. I'll tell you how we feel about Trek. Trek has the best license data in the country, period. Full stop. When we get that license data and we see a new licensee who is sponsored by you because you're primary to MetroTex, we send you an email. It's a congratulations email. Hey, congratulations on your new licensee. Let's do the right thing and take care of your three-way agreement with NAR. They will show up here, and in that email, you'll be given a link that will take you directly to this page on the platform. You then can take any action that you need to take to resolve it. You obviously, if for whatever reason you want to resolve it, you could go terminate your relationship with them at Trek. That would ultimately remove them from the unreported licensee list. These three buttons over here, though, give you the actions that are available to you. And because Brenda also has a LIFRO office, a license for referral only office, there are two options here. She can pay the UL fee for this agent, which will then turn them into a non-member licensee, or she can move them to the LIFRO office. And these things happen, again, automatically. We take care of the provisioning, we take care of the movement, and it removes them from the unreported licensee list, both here in MetroTex and at the state level. Okay, so you'll get an email, you'll get multiple reminders, and you have the ability to take care of unreported licensees right here in the platform. Okay, that's my overview of the MetroTex member portal platform.